It's absolutely critical that we move to a zero carbon economy. If we care about the long-term stability of our civilization, we need a stable climate. And the only way that we're going to stabilize our climate is by, first of all, ceasing our emissions of greenhouse gases. Recent studies suggest that basically the 100 largest cities are responsible for about 80% of global emissions.
Futurist Alex Steffen recently threw out a challenge to the people of Melbourne. How to change absolutely everything without leaving town. Well, I decided to take a look at the changes underway in Melbourne, the city I now call home.
Because cities are the nexus point through which almost all of our greenhouse gases are released, the systems that feed into cities are essentially what is the problem. So therefore, if we're going to change those systems, we need to change those cities.
40% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions come from the built environment, and 10% of those are residential. So transforming the way we design, build and live is essential if we're to slash our carbon emissions in the future. I'd like to introduce you to 4 organisations who are at the cutting edge of changing the way we live at the local level.
Westwick is really an eco-village that's been created within the former Brunswick West Primary School. It's a beautiful old heritage building, and we were fearful that it was going to be demolished, pulled down. We also felt that it was an opportunity to show that you could do development in a very different way in our cities. You could bring people together rather than separate them, as much of our development's done. But we also saw it as an opportunity to create a high-level environmental product in terms of its water, energy and materials efficiency. There's a Melbourne target of 155 litres per person per day. We've got our water usage here down into the 30 mark, way down below that level.
Our vision is to revolutionise building technologies in Australia. And we want to do that through introducing technologies which are established and proven elsewhere, but which are highly innovative in Australia. All materials used in the house are toxin-free. Baufritz is the leader in sustainability residential homes in Germany, if not Europe, and has recently been featured on Grand Designs UK, which I believe a lot of Australians have seen on TV.
The Commons is amazing. What's incredibly special is the feeling of community. I mean, we called it the Commons because it was trying to create a culture around the way people live.
The most exciting part about the building, in building that urban community, is having a communal space on the rooftop where people can grow their veggies, they can look out over the city, they can sit in the communal laundry and do their washing together and hang out and actually get to know their neighbours. And it sounds funny, but you go to any city in the world, Paris, Rome, New York, and people actually know their neighbours and talk to them, and that's what we're trying to create at the Commons.
Not to mention we've got solar panels and we've got water tanks, no car parks, double glazed window. I mean, you name it, what we could put into this thing, we did. We've made the incredibly sustainable apartment building, and we've done it in a commercial manner, which means that a whole lot of other people can now use this as the example of a realistic, sustainable, financially as well as environmentally sustainable way of going forward, building property in Australia.
Bank MECU wants to develop a reputation in this marketplace that it's a bank that will listen, it will understand the challenges, it will understand the opportunities. We can invest in and develop relationships with this sector and do so in very profitable ways. Then these case studies, this business case around building sustainable built homes, financing these developments is something that we can take to much larger banks in the country and get sustainable built housing and these design elements more mainstreamed into everyday housing.
Over the past year we conducted a zero carbon study looking at the costs, the designs, the appliances required to hit a zero carbon or carbon neutral standard for a housing project, and that'd be the first time that had been achieved in Australia. And we had a wonderful surprise that what we found is the costs of solar panels and sustainability systems have been on a really strong downward trend. Meanwhile, the costs of energy and water and oil are going north, and we've found that we've now passed that tipping point where it makes absolute sense to build to a zero carbon standard.
So when I say you can change absolutely everything without leaving town, what I mean is that if people in places like Melbourne push to create a changed reality in their own cities, they will not only change their own city, they'll also change the possibilities for cities all around the world. And that has the potential to transform the world itself.